Your body is the most incredible machine in the universe, but everything you learned about it in school was simplified. From the moment you wake up to the second you fall asleep, your biology is far stranger and more fascinating than any textbook ever revealed. Today we're uncovering 40 shocking truths about human anatomy that will completely change how you see yourself. Get ready to discover the real science behind the machine you live in. Let's begin. 1. The 10% brain myth. Movies like Lucy and Limitless made this famous. Humans only use 10% of their brains. Unlock the rest, and you'd gain superpowers. Here's the truth. Evolution never wastes energy. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's total energy despite being just 2% of your mass. If 90% was dormant, natural selection would have eliminated it millions of years ago. Advanced brain imaging proves that even during sleep, nearly every region shows activity. You're using 100% of your brain constantly, just not every area simultaneously. Different tasks activate different networks. When you read, talk, dream, or solve problems, various regions light up in coordination. Your brain isn't holding back secret powers. It's already performing at maximum capacity, orchestrating thousands of functions every single second to keep you alive and thinking. 2. Blood is blue inside your body. Look at your wrist. Those veins appear blue, don't they? Many believe blood turns blue when it loses oxygen and only becomes red when exposed to air. This is completely false. Human blood is always red. It contains hemoglobin, an iron-rich protein that binds oxygen. When fully oxygenated, blood appears bright cherry red. When depleted, it darkens to deep crimson, but never blue. So why do veins look blue through your skin? It's optical physics called light scattering. Your skin absorbs red wavelengths while reflecting blue light back to your eyes. You're not seeing the actual blood color. You're seeing how light interacts with tissue layers. If you could view blood in a transparent container, whether oxygenated or not, it would always appear some shade of red. The blue vein illusion is pure physics, not biology. 3. Cracking knuckles causes arthritis. Stop cracking your knuckles, you'll get arthritis. Every parent has issued this warning. The popping sound seems destructive, like grinding bones together. Actually, that pop is just gas bubbles. Your joints contain synovial fluid that lubricates movement. When you stretch a joint, pressure drops inside the capsule, forming gas bubbles that immediately collapse. That satisfying crack is simply bubbles bursting. Dr. Donald Unger tested this myth on himself for 60 years, cracking his left hand's knuckles daily while leaving his right hand alone. The result? Zero arthritis in either hand. He even won an Ig Nobel Prize for his dedication. While the sound might annoy people nearby, your joints remain perfectly safe. The habit won't damage your cartilage or increase arthritis risk. So, crack away without guilt, though maybe not during quiet moments. 4. Shaving makes hair grow back thicker. After shaving, regrowth feels coarser and looks darker, convincing millions they've altered their hair follicles. You haven't changed anything biologically. Natural hair grows with a tapered end, gradually thinning like a pencil point. When you shave, you're cutting the hair at its thickest point, the shaft's base, leaving a blunt, flat edge. As this blunt edge emerges through skin, it feels rough like sandpaper and appears darker because it hasn't been sun-bleached yet. It's a complete optical illusion. The follicle beneath your skin remains unchanged, producing the same thickness it always did. If shaving truly stimulated thicker growth, dermatologists would prescribe razors for hair loss. Unfortunately, that's not how follicles work. Your hair's texture and thickness are determined by genetics, not your grooming habits. Shave as much as you want without worry. 5. You only have 5 senses: sight, hearing, taste, touch, and smell. That's the classic list from elementary school. It's wildly incomplete. Neuroscientists now recognize at least 9 distinct senses, possibly more than 20. Close your eyes and touch your nose. How did you locate it without vision? That's proprioception, your sense of body position in space. Feel cold air? That's thermoception, temperature sensing separate from touch. You also possess equilibrioception for balance, nociception for pain detection, and interoception for internal body awareness like hunger and heartbeat. Your body constantly processes complex sensory streams beyond the traditional 5. Reducing human perception to just 5 senses is like saying a smartphone only makes calls. Your nervous system is far more sophisticated, gathering environmental data through numerous specialized channels simultaneously. You're a walking sensor array, collecting information in ways you've never consciously recognized. 6. The tongue taste map. Remember the diagram showing sweet on your tongue's tip, salty on the sides, and bitter at the back? It's completely wrong. This myth originated from a mistranslated German paper written in 1901. Scientist David Hainig noted that certain areas show slightly enhanced sensitivity, but a textbook author misinterpreted his data and created a rigid, compartmentalized map. The reality? Taste buds cover your entire tongue, and every single one detects all 5 flavor profiles: sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. Place salt anywhere on your tongue, and you'll taste it immediately. Your mouth functions as a unified sensory organ, not a segmented flavor factory. Taste receptors work simultaneously across all regions. This myth persisted for over a century in classrooms worldwide, but modern neuroscience has completely debunked it. Your tongue is far more elegantly designed than that outdated map suggested. 7. Hair and nails grow after death. Horror movies perpetuate this unsettling claim. After death, hair and nails continue growing for days. Biologically, this is impossible. Hair and nail growth requires active cellular metabolism, including glucose regulation and cell division. These processes stop immediately when your heart ceases beating. So why do corpses sometimes appear to need grooming? It's an optical illusion caused by dehydration. After death, skin loses moisture and contracts, pulling back from nail beds and hair follicles. The nails aren't lengthening. The surrounding skin is shrinking. Similarly, facial hair appears more prominent as skin tightens around follicles. Nothing is actually growing. Tissue is simply changing shape through dehydration. The appearance of growth is purely visual, created by the body's natural preservation processes. Once cellular metabolism stops, all growth permanently ceases. Death is final for your cells, including those producing hair and nails. 8. Cold weather gives you a cold. Wear a jacket or you'll catch pneumonia. It's ancient advice, but temperature alone cannot make you sick. Colds and flu result from viral infections, not from feeling chilly. You could stand outdoors in freezing temperatures without any virus present, and you wouldn't catch a cold, though you'd certainly risk hypothermia. So why do illness rates spike in winter? It's behavioral, not meteorological. During cold months, people cluster indoors with closed windows, breathing recycled air in close proximity. This facilitates viral transmission. Additionally, dry winter air dehydrates nasal mucous membranes, your body's first defensive barrier, making viral entry easier. Cold weather is an accomplice creating favorable conditions, but viruses remain the actual culprits. The temperature makes you uncomfortable and vulnerable, but the virus makes you sick. Bundle up for comfort and safety, but understand that staying warm doesn't prevent infection without proper hygiene. 9. The sugar rush is real. Parents worldwide swear that candy transforms children into hyperactive tornadoes. It feels undeniable, but extensive research shows sugar doesn't cause hyperactivity in kids. In one revealing study, researchers gave children sugar-free candy, but told parents it contained sugar. Parents still reported wild hyper-behavior, proving expectation drives perception. The real culprits at birthday parties aren't the cake. They're excitement, environment, social stimulation, and absence of normal rules. Your body processes sugar into energy through normal metabolic pathways, but it doesn't function like a stimulant drug. While sugar provides calories for fuel, it doesn't trigger hyperactive behavior changes. The sugar high is largely a placebo effect reinforced by circumstances. Kids get excited at parties because parties are exciting, not because of the dessert. It's correlation without causation, perpetuated by confirmation bias and parental expectations through generations. 10. Peeing on a jellyfish sting helps. Thanks to a famous television episode, millions believe urine neutralizes jellyfish venom. Please never do this. It's not just unhygienic, it's genuinely dangerous. Jellyfish tentacles contain microscopic triggers called nematocysts. Venom release depends on the surrounding solution's salt concentration. Urine contains fresh water, which can actually trigger remaining nematocysts on your skin to fire more venom, dramatically increasing pain. The correct treatment involves vinegar or seawater, which stabilize the nematocysts. Urine creates infection risk, while making a painful situation worse and more embarrassing. If you're stung, seek proper medical attention from lifeguards or beach medical stations. They carry appropriate treatment solutions. Folk remedies often sound logical but lack scientific backing. In emergency situations, stick with evidence-based first aid. Your bladder isn't a pharmacy, and good intentions don't make urine effective medicine. 11. You need 8 glasses of water a day. Stay hydrated. We constantly hear we need 8 glasses of water daily or risk dehydration. This specific number has no scientific backing. It likely stems from a 1945 nutrition recommendation stating humans need about 2.5 liters of water daily. However, people ignored the next sentence. Most of this quantity is contained in prepared foods. You get substantial water from fruits, vegetables, coffee, and even meat. You don't need to force-feed yourself plain water if you're not thirsty. Your body has sophisticated thirst mechanisms that signal when you need fluids. In fact, drinking excessive water can dilute your blood sodium levels, causing hyponatremia, which can be dangerous. The 8 glasses rule is arbitrary and doesn't account for individual differences in size, activity level, or climate. Listen to your body's natural signals. Drink when you're thirsty, not when a random rule dictates. Your kidneys will handle the rest perfectly. 12. Rust causes tetanus. Step on a rusty nail and panic about lockjaw sets in. We associate tetanus directly with rust, but rust itself, oxidized iron, is completely harmless to humans. Tetanus is caused by bacteria called Clostridium tetani, which lives in soil, dust, and manure. The rusty nail is just the delivery system. A nail sitting in a clean, dry environment can be completely covered in rust and won't give you tetanus. Conversely, a shiny, brand new nail lying in contaminated garden soil can absolutely cause tetanus. The danger isn't the metal's oxidation, it's the dirt that the metal pushes deep into your tissue where oxygen can't reach. Tetanus bacteria thrive in oxygen-free environments. The deep puncture wound creates the perfect anaerobic conditions. It's a contaminated wound problem, not a rust problem. Keep your tetanus vaccination current regardless of what punctures your skin. 13. Reading in the dark ruins your eyes. Turn on a light or you'll go blind. Every parent has issued this warning while you read under the covers. While reading in dim light can be uncomfortable, it doesn't cause permanent vision damage. It causes eye strain. When light is low, your pupils dilate, and the muscles controlling your lens work harder to process text. This leads to headaches, dry eyes, and temporary blurriness, but it doesn't physically alter your eyeball's shape or cause lasting myopia. Think of it like exercising. Your muscles get tired and sore from effort, but they recover after rest. You might get a headache from reading in darkness, but you're not damaging your vision long term. The discomfort is your body's signal to improve lighting conditions, not a warning of impending blindness. Modern eye strain from screens is similar, uncomfortable, but not permanently damaging. 14. You swallow 8 spiders a year in your sleep. This is the internet's grossest statistic, and thankfully, it's completely fabricated. The claim suggests spiders crawl into your open mouth while you sleep. Biologically, this makes 0 sense. Spiders rely on vibrations to navigate their world. A sleeping human is a terrifying landscape. Beating heart, moving chest, tossing and turning, and exhaling hot, humid breath. To a spider, you're a noisy, vibrating volcano. They have strong survival instincts that keep them away from large, moving predators. This fact was actually created by a columnist in 1993, specifically to demonstrate how gullible people are when reading facts in chain emails. It was a social experiment that succeeded beyond imagination. The myth spread globally, proving people will believe anything that sounds scientific. Your mouth remains a spider-free zone while you dream peacefully. Rest easy tonight. 15. Gum stays in your stomach for 7 years. As a kid, swallowing gum felt like a death sentence. You were told it sits in your stomach, undigested, for 7 years. While your body cannot digest the synthetic rubber base of chewing gum, that doesn't mean it establishes permanent residence. Your digestive system handles indigestible materials regularly, like fiber or corn kernels. It simply moves them along the digestive tract. If you swallow gum, it travels from your stomach to your small intestine, then your colon, and eventually exits intact. The journey takes about 2 to 3 days, not 7 years. Unless you're swallowing massive amounts daily, creating an obstruction, it just passes through harmlessly. Your digestive system is remarkably efficient at handling things it can't break down. The 7-year myth was likely created by parents trying to discourage gum swallowing, not by scientists studying digestion. 16. Carrots give you night vision. Did your parents force carrots on you claiming they'd help you see in the dark? While carrots are rich in vitamin A, which supports eye health, they don't grant superpowers. This myth was actually created by British military intelligence during World War II. The Royal Air Force had developed secret radar technology allowing them to shoot down German planes at night. To hide this technology from the enemy, they launched a propaganda campaign, claiming their pilots ate massive amounts of carrots to improve their night vision. The British public believed it, the Germans believed it, and 80 years later, the myth persists. Carrots do support eye health by preventing vitamin A deficiency, but they won't transform you into a nocturnal predator. Eating a truckload of carrots won't help you see better in darkness. Your night vision is genetically determined, not dietary. 17. You lose most heat through your head. Put on a hat, you're losing most of your body heat. This statistic is completely false. If this were true, wearing only a hat would keep you as warm as wearing a full winter coat without a hat. The myth comes from a flawed 1950s military survival experiment where volunteers stood in freezing temperatures wearing Arctic survival suits but no hats. Naturally, they lost heat through the only exposed body part. In reality, your head accounts for about 10% of your body's surface area. You lose heat from your head at the same rate you lose it from an exposed arm or leg. It's just skin, not a thermal exhaust port. The reason hats feel so effective is that your head is often the only exposed area in winter. Cover any 10% of your body and you'll feel warmer. Hats are smart winter accessories, but not magical heat retention devices. 18. Never wake a sleepwalker. There's an old superstition that waking a sleepwalker will cause a heart attack or leave them permanently traumatized. This is completely untrue. Waking a sleepwalker won't harm them, though they'll likely be extremely confused, disoriented, and maybe slightly aggressive because you interrupted their deep sleep cycle. The confusion is temporary and harmless. The real danger is not waking them. Sleepwalkers have been known to fall down stairs, walk through windows, or attempt to drive vehicles while unconscious. These actions pose genuine physical danger. Guiding them gently back to bed is ideal, but if they're about to do something dangerous, waking them is absolutely the safest option. A confused, groggy person is far better than an injured one. The myth likely originated from the dramatic, disoriented reactions people have when suddenly awakened from deep sleep, which can be unsettling but not harmful. 19. Fingerprints are 100% unique. Forensic dramas convince us that fingerprint matches are absolute proof of identity. The science is actually much shakier. While fingerprints are incredibly detailed, the claim that no two people in history have ever shared identical prints is mathematically unproven. We simply haven't recorded everyone's fingerprints to verify this. Additionally, fingerprints can change or degrade over time. Bricklayers, manual laborers, and people working with harsh chemicals often lose ridge detail permanently. There have been documented cases of false matches in criminal trials because partial prints appeared similar enough to convince analysts. Fingerprints remain a useful forensic tool, but they're not the infallible biological barcode that television portrays. The uniqueness assumption is based on probability, not absolute certainty. Modern forensic science increasingly relies on DNA analysis, which offers far greater statistical certainty than fingerprint comparison. The courtroom drama oversimplifies the complexity. 20. Vitamin C prevents colds. When you feel a sneeze coming, you probably reach for orange juice or supplements. You're likely wasting your money. The belief that mega doses of vitamin C prevent the common cold originates from scientist Linus Pauling in the 1970s, who became obsessed with the vitamin's potential. However, extensive modern studies show that for average people, extra vitamin C doesn't prevent colds. At best, it might shorten your sickness duration by a few hours if you were taking it beforehand, but the effect is minimal. Your body can only absorb a specific amount of vitamin C. Anything extra is simply flushed out through urine. You're not boosting your immune system. You're creating expensive bathroom waste. Vitamin C is essential for health, but getting adequate amounts through normal diet is sufficient. Loading up on supplements when you feel sick is mostly placebo effect, not medicine. 21. Alcohol keeps you warm. The image of a Saint Bernard bringing brandy to a freezing hiker is iconic and dangerous. When you drink alcohol, you feel a sudden warmth spreading through your body. This convinces people that alcohol acts like a liquid coat. It's actually doing the opposite. Alcohol acts as a vasodilator, widening your blood vessels and rushing warm blood from your core to your skin's surface. You feel hot because your skin is hot, but you're rapidly radiating precious body heat into the cold air. It's stealing warmth from vital organs to heat your extremities. Drinking in freezing conditions doesn't prevent hypothermia. It accelerates it while making you too impaired to recognize the danger. The warm sensation is a dangerous illusion that has contributed to countless cold weather deaths. If you're genuinely cold, seek proper shelter and insulation. Alcohol is recreation, not survival gear. 22. Tilt your head back for a nosebleed. If your nose starts bleeding, your instinct, and probably your teacher's advice, is to tilt your head back to stop the flow. This is terrible medical advice that's been passed down for generations. Tilting your head back doesn't stop the bleeding, it just redirects it internally. The blood flows down the back of your throat and into your stomach. Since human stomachs react poorly to blood, this often causes nausea and vomiting, which increases blood pressure and makes the nosebleed worse. Blood can also leak into your airway, causing choking. The actual medical protocol is to lean forward and pinch the soft part of your nose firmly. This applies direct pressure to the bleeding vessels while letting gravity work outside your body, not inside. The forward position also prevents blood from entering your digestive system. It might look messier, but it's significantly safer and more effective. 23. You must wait 30 minutes after eating to swim. This myth ruined countless childhood summers. Parents insisted that swimming right after lunch would cause all your blood to rush to your stomach for digestion, leaving your limbs oxygen-starved, causing cramps and drowning. While digestion does require blood flow, your body has plenty of circulation to go around. You're not a machine running out of fuel. Professional athletes often eat right before competitions to ensure they have energy available. Olympic swimmers time their meals strategically before races. Swimming on a full stomach might give you a minor side stitch or slight nausea if you're doing intense strokes, but it won't paralyze your limbs or cause you to sink helplessly. The danger of cramping was vastly exaggerated. Your circulatory system is sophisticated enough to handle multiple tasks simultaneously. Eat, swim, and enjoy your summer without arbitrary waiting periods. 24. The appendix is useless. For decades, doctors treated the appendix like evolutionary garbage, a useless remnant from our ancestors that does nothing except occasionally explode and require emergency surgery. Modern biology has completely revised this view. Your appendix is actually a safe house for beneficial gut bacteria. Your digestive system contains trillions of good bacteria essential for digestion and immune function. If you get a severe illness like food poisoning or dysentery that violently flushes your system, these beneficial bacteria get wiped out too. Appendix acts as a protected bunker where good bacteria can hide during the crisis, then re-emerge to repopulate your gut once you recover. It's not a useless bomb waiting to explode, it's an emergency backup system for your microbiome. People who've had their appendix removed can live normally, but they may experience more difficulty recovering gut bacteria after severe illness. 25. People are left-brained or right-brained. You've heard the personality test. Logical people use their left brain. Creative people use their right brain. It's a neat way to categorize personalities, but anatomically, it's complete nonsense. Brain imaging studies show that whether you're solving complex equations or painting abstract art, activity is distributed across both hemispheres simultaneously. The two sides constantly communicate through a massive bundle of nerve fibers called the corpus callosum. You don't switch off one hemisphere to activate the other. A mathematician needs creativity to solve novel proofs, and an artist needs logic to understand perspective and composition. While certain functions do show slight hemispheric preferences, like language processing favoring the left side, the idea of rigid personality types based on brain dominance is pseudoscience. You're not left-brained or right-brained. You're whole-brained. Your personality is far more complex than simple lateralization. 26. Hair turns white overnight from stress. Historical legends claim Marie Antoinette's hair turned stark white the night before her execution due to sheer terror. While dramatically compelling, this is biologically impossible. Hair is dead tissue, a collection of keratinized cells with no active metabolism. Once it grows out of your scalp, it cannot change color any more than a wooden table can spontaneously change its stain. However, extreme stress can trigger a condition called diffuse alopecia areata, which causes pigmented hair to fall out rapidly while leaving gray or white hairs behind. It creates the optical illusion of overnight whitening, but you're actually experiencing selective hair loss. The dark hairs fell out, the white hairs remained. It's not transformation, it's subtraction. The legend persists because the visual effect is striking and the mechanism isn't immediately obvious. Stress can absolutely affect hair health, but it can't change existing hair's pigmentation instantly. 27. Urine is sterile. This is a favorite claim of survivalists and alternative health enthusiasts. The idea is that urine is cleaner than tap water because it's sterile inside your bladder. This is false. While urine contains far fewer bacteria than feces, it's not sterile. Recent studies using advanced DNA sequencing have discovered diverse bacterial communities living in healthy bladders. Furthermore, as soon as urine leaves your body and contacts air or surfaces, it becomes a breeding ground for bacteria. Drinking it in survival situations is counterproductive. Not just because of bacteria, but because you're re-ingesting waste salts your kidneys worked hard to filter out, which accelerates dehydration rather than preventing it. Your kidneys remove toxins and excess salts from your bloodstream. Drinking urine puts those toxins back in, forcing your kidneys to process them again while using precious water reserves. It's a losing cycle that harms more than helps. 28. Turkey makes you sleepy. Every Thanksgiving, families eat massive meals and then pass out on couches, blaming the turkey. The supposed culprit is tryptophan, an amino acid that promotes sleep. While turkey does contain tryptophan, it has less than chicken, cheddar cheese, or soybeans. Nobody falls asleep after eating a cheese sandwich. The real reason you get tired is the massive intake of carbohydrates, potatoes, stuffing, bread, and desserts. These spike your blood sugar and insulin, which diverts energy to digestion and causes that famous food coma. Combining that with alcohol, a warm house, and relaxing with family creates perfect napping conditions. The turkey is innocent. Don't blame the bird. Blame the 3 servings of mashed potatoes, the dinner rolls, the pie, and the wine. The Thanksgiving nap is about quantity and carbohydrates, not about any special property of turkey meat. 29. Your heart stops when you sneeze. There's an urban legend that your heart skips a beat or stops entirely when you sneeze, which supposedly explains why people say, "bless you," to welcome you back from temporary death. In reality, your heart keeps pumping throughout the sneeze. However, the rhythm does change slightly. When you sneeze, the pressure in your chest increases dramatically, which temporarily restricts blood flow returning to your heart. Your brain compensates by momentarily adjusting your heart rate. The delay between beats might be fractionally longer, which can feel like a skipped beat or flutter, but the electrical signal never stops. Your heart continues its essential function without interruption. You're not dying. You're just experiencing a momentary pressure change that affects the timing of your heartbeat. The bless you custom likely originated for religious or superstitious reasons, not because anyone genuinely believes sneezing stopped your heart. 30. You can sweat out toxins. Saunas and hot yoga studios market the idea that sweating is a deep cleanse for your body, purging toxins like heavy metals and pollutants. This is biologically incorrect. Sweat has one primary job: temperature regulation. It's 99% water and 1% salt, trace proteins, and urea. It's not a magical drainage system for poisons. The organs responsible for detoxifying your body are your liver and kidneys. They filter your blood continuously, 24 hours a day, removing waste products and processing toxins. Sweating excessively doesn't clean your system. It just dehydrates you and requires your kidneys to work harder to maintain electrolyte balance. If your liver stopped functioning, no amount of sauna time would save you. The toxins would accumulate regardless of how much you sweat. You can't sweat out a poor diet or environmental exposure. Let your liver and kidneys do their job. Stay hydrated and healthy. 31. Lactic acid causes muscle soreness. If you exercise intensely after a break, you'll wake up sore the next day. You'll probably blame lactic acid buildup. This is fitness folklore. Lactic acid is actually fuel, not waste, and your body clears it from your muscles within an hour of finishing your workout. The pain you feel 12 to 48 hours later is actually DOMS, delayed onset muscle soreness. This results from microscopic tears in your muscle fibers and the resulting inflammation as your body repairs them to be stronger. That pain isn't a chemical burn from acid. It's the physical sensation of your muscles breaking down and rebuilding. It's actually a sign that you've created positive stress, stimulating growth and adaptation. The soreness means your body is responding to the challenge. Lactic acid does create that burning sensation during intense exercise, but it's cleared quickly. The next day soreness is pure structural damage and repair. 32. Your pores open and close. The beauty industry sells billions worth of products based on the idea that steam opens your pores and cold water closes them like doors. Anatomically, this is impossible. Pores are holes in your skin housing hair follicles and sweat glands. They don't have muscles around the opening. They cannot expand or contract voluntarily. Steam doesn't open any door. It simply loosens the hardened oil, dirt, and dead skin cells inside the pore, making them easier to wash away. The heat softens the debris. Cold water doesn't close them. It temporarily constricts the blood vessels underneath your skin, making your skin appear tighter for a brief moment. The effect is superficial and temporary. You can clean your pores thoroughly, but you cannot physically change their size. Pore size is largely determined by genetics and age. Products claiming to permanently shrink pores are selling impossible results. 33. Stress causes stomach ulcers. For decades, standard medical advice for ulcers was to reduce stress and avoid spicy food. Doctors believed stress and diet burned holes in your stomach lining. In the 1980s, 2 Australian doctors discovered the real cause: a specific bacteria called Helicobacter pylori. The medical establishment was skeptical and dismissive. To prove his theory, Dr. Barry Marshall did something extraordinary. He drank a beaker full of the bacteria culture, gave himself an ulcer, and then cured it with antibiotics. He demonstrated definitively that ulcers weren't caused by stressful jobs or spicy food, but by a bacterial infection. He won a Nobel Prize for intentionally poisoning himself to prove the medical establishment wrong. While stress can exacerbate existing ulcers by increasing stomach acid production, It doesn't create ulcers, the bacteria does. This discovery revolutionized treatment, replacing bland diets with simple antibiotic regimens. 34. Eating at night makes you fat. Don't eat after 8 p.m. or it turns straight to fat. This is one of the most persistent diet myths in existence. Your body doesn't have a clock that switches metabolism from burn to store when the sun sets. Weight gain is determined by total calories consumed versus calories burned over a 24-hour period, not by timing. A burger eaten at noon has the exact same caloric value as a burger eaten at midnight. Your body processes food the same way regardless of time. The reason late-night eaters often gain weight isn't the timing, it's the food type and quantity. Nobody snacks on vegetables at midnight. They eat chips, ice cream, and leftovers. These are often extra calories on top of a full day of eating. It's about total intake, not the clock. If you're hungry at night and eat reasonable portions, you won't magically gain weight. 35. Your heart is on the left side. When you place your hand over your heart during the national anthem, you're actually covering your left lung. Your heart is located almost directly in the center of your chest, behind your sternum. However, the heart isn't perfectly symmetrical. The left ventricle, which pumps blood to your entire body, is larger and more muscular than the right side. Because it's bigger, the heart tilts slightly to the left, and the strongest beat feels more prominent on that side. But structurally, it's a center-aligned organ. If you were to draw a vertical line down the middle of your chest, your heart would straddle that line, extending to both sides. The heart on the left is an oversimplification that's been reinforced by symbolic imagery and hand-over-heart gestures. Anatomically, your heart is central, with a slight left tilt for mechanical reasons. 36. Alcohol kills brain cells. You've heard the warning. Every drink kills thousands of brain cells. If that were true, college campuses would be filled with brain-damaged graduates. Alcohol does not kill neurons. The brain of a heavy drinker has the same number of neurons as a non-drinker's brain. What alcohol does damage are dendrites, the tiny branch-like connections between neurons that transmit signals. It disrupts communication pathways without destroying the cells themselves. Think of it like cutting phone lines without destroying the buildings. The good news is that unlike dead cells, dendrites can regrow and repair themselves if you stop or reduce drinking. The brain has remarkable plasticity and healing capacity. You're not permanently lobotomizing yourself with every drink. You're temporarily scrambling the signal. Chronic heavy drinking absolutely causes problems. But the mechanism isn't mast cell death. It's connection disruption and inflammation. That affects cognitive function. 37. Your eyes will pop out if you sneeze with them open. This is the classic playground horror story. If you force your eyes open while sneezing, the pressure will launch your eyeballs across the room. Rest easy. Your eyes are securely attached. They're held in place by the optic nerve and 6 powerful muscles called extraocular muscles. Your eyelids are just thin flaps of skin. They aren't structurally strong enough to hold your eyes in anyway. If sneeze pressure was strong enough to dislodge an eye, blinking wouldn't save you. The reason you automatically close your eyes during a sneeze is simply a protective reflex to shield them from the germs and particles you're explosively expelling, not to keep them inside your skull. It's virtually impossible to sneeze with your eyes open because the reflex is so strong, but if you managed it, your eyes would remain exactly where they are. Your eye sockets and muscles provide secure anchoring. 38. The 5-second rule. Drop a cookie, yell, 5-second rule, and eat it, believing bacteria needs time to crawl onto food. Science completely disagrees. Bacteria doesn't have a countdown timer or waiting period. Transfer is instantaneous. In laboratory tests, food picked up immediately had just as much bacterial contamination as food left for 10 seconds or longer. The real factor isn't time, it's moisture content and surface texture. A wet slice of watermelon dropped on a tile floor absorbs bacteria instantly because moisture facilitates transfer. A dry cracker on carpet absorbs almost none because there's no moisture bridge and carpet traps bacteria in its fibers. If you eat off the floor, you're gambling with the surface cleanliness and food moisture, not racing against a clock. The 5-second rule is wishful thinking that makes us feel better about eating dropped food. The bacteria don't wait. 39. Your fingernails have no feeling. You can clip your nails without pain, so you assume they're completely dead tissue with no sensation. While the nail plate itself is dead keratin, it's intimately connected to a highly sensitive layer underneath called the nail bed. This bed is densely packed with nerves. The reason you can feel pressure when picking up a coin through your nail is that the nail acts as a force-transmitting lever. It amplifies and transmits tactile sensation from the tip to the sensitive bed underneath. Without fingernails, your fingertips would be soft, mushy, and largely useless for fine motor skills like typing, playing instruments, or scratching. Your nails aren't just protective shields. They're sensory tools that enhance your sense of touch. They provide counterpressure that allows your fingertips to manipulate small objects precisely. They're not dead plastic. They're sophisticated mechanical sensors. 40. You are 100% human. This is the biggest revelation of all. You look in the mirror and see a human. A biologist looks at you and sees an ecosystem. By cell count, you're actually only about 43% human. The other 57% of the cells in and on your body are microbes. Bacteria, viruses, fungi, and archaea. They live on your skin, in your mouth, and mostly in your gut. But don't panic, you absolutely need them. They digest food your cells can't process, regulate your immune system, produce vitamins your body can't synthesize, and even influence your mood and behavior through the gut-brain connection. You aren't just a single organism, you're a walking ecosystem. You're basically a planet hosting trillions of microscopic life forms. Without them, you couldn't survive. You're not an individual, you're a community. So, there you have it. 40 myths about the machine you live in. You're a complex, red-blooded, microbe-filled ecosystem that uses 100% of its brain. If this video made you question everything you learned in school, hit that like button and tell me in the comments. Which myth surprised you the most? Was it the blue blood or the spiders? Subscribe for more content because the world is full of myths, and we're just getting started debunking them. Stay curious, and I'll see you in the next video.